All right. Okay. All right, folks. So tonight we're starting with Aureus Alliance Holdings. And I want to put this out before we start that when you become a shareholder, you need to have belief in something before you even go into it. So from the start, I just want to tell you now that you have to have that belief that what you are going to look at tonight can and will change lives. So I want you to go into it with an open mind and hoping that you will gain that belief in what we are showing you. All right. So that is why we want to try and adopt the hashtag I believe in Aureus. All right. So I just want to get my slides going. I just want to see if it's going to work. All right. There we go. So like I said, tonight we are talking about a law, can't get my words out properly tonight. Aureus Alliance Holdings. It's a holding company, as it says in the name, and it is backed by gold backed impact ventures. Now, when they say gold backed, our core business is going to be obviously the gold mining, and everything else will fall around that. In JP's last visit on Monday night, when he gave us some updates, he did tell us about some ITC stuff that's going to be coming into the play and some property development that is also on the cards. But let's just remember that is like other parts of the business eventually. But the main part is, as it says here, real gold, real profit. So we are backed by real gold mining, which they are trying to get going right now. And that will then allow us to earn shares, or should I say dividends for the shares that we have, and share in the profits that is made. Now, that all being said is to give back to the community, and we're going to show you various, or we're going to, through the demo, the presentation, you'll be demonstrating, or we will be demonstrating many ways that the community is going to benefit. Just remember, you are one of those communities, which is the shareholders. The community is formed by many various pieces. All right, so going forward. Okay, so now we talk about the what. What exactly is it that you get? So when you join Aureus Alliance Holdings, you get real gold equity through a CIPC registered share, which has a par value of $1,000. By the time it will be tradable, which is after all shares are sold, after all 19 phases, then only will it become tradable at $1,000 minimum, right? That is according to the registration of the company. Then you will get receive legal ownership through a share certificate, which will be on your back office. You'll always have access to that. And it's in a real gold mining venture. Like I said, they will be taking gold out of the ground, literally taking gold out of the ground. It's not just something that says, oh, we owe gold, or we own this or that or that. You literally are in a company that will be mining gold. All right. This forms transparent gold-backed economy built on trust. Remember, gold is something that's been around for many years. It's not like someone's telling you to join something in a business right now that you don't know the history of. If you go into the gold price and you see what gold has been doing over many, many, many years, you know if it's backed by gold, gold will not disappear. It's always going to be around, and people will always want it as a commodity. And if that is the case, if we are able to mine and mine and produce gold, we are standing literally on a gold mine. So that is like the first no-brainer. You're not buying into a company that's not needed. A lot of people look for gold in various ways, and to buy into a company and buy shares into a company, you're buying a share of a company that literally is doing something that is trusted by many people, because gold is trusted. All right. Okay, moving forward. So now we get to the how. So how are we going to get to this, right? Where you earn your dividends, so to say. And I'm going to explain dividends later, but let's just explain how you're going to get to it. So the company is starting with two friendly wash plants. They were planning on doing this with 200-ton wash plants, but that is not the case. What we were told just the other day is that JP and them are starting planning to get the second wash plant. We've got our first one, which is a 10-ton per hour wash plant. We are on the cards to get the second one, which is a 100-ton wash plant. It will take about a month for us to get it, but because of the slight delays we've had through the December, January, February period of the rain, which again, I'm not going to go into detail. It's an act of God. Please go and watch Monday night's presentation. I did load it to YouTube. Go onto the YouTube channel. You can find where JP, after the presentation, came through and gave us some instruction and some clarification as to why we are a little bit behind, and the realistic expectations, because a lot of us, I think, are living in instant gratification world where we put money in now and we want to see dividends right now. Let's understand this is a long-term vision that this company is about. So we're in our setup phase and we're in our setup year, and something we cannot control is what they call the act of God, which is like weather and things like that. We just could not get going when we planned to get going, but the company is working hard behind the scenes to get it rectified. All right, so we will be powered by renewables to ensure clean, sustainable mining. The land will be rehabilitated to its natural state afterwards. We're not going to change too much. Where there's a tree, we're not going to damage the tree. Where there's things that can't be damaged, we're not going to damage it. We're just going to work around, and we're going to keep it as natural as possible. That is obviously in the plan. And then all production, wherever possible, it will be reported to shareholders in the back office. You will see in the mining tab, there's a mining production tab on your shareholders dashboard that you'll see the mining that is taking place. All right, going forward. So now the when. When will you get dividends? Because now, like I said, some people are instant gratification focused, and that's not the case here. We need to understand that, as JP even in his own words said, that some companies only pay you once a year if you're lucky, if they make dividends. So yeah, we are at least in a company for now that in the beginning is willing to pay us 4 times a year, right? So we will get quarterly dividends from profits once, and I have to clarify this, please, that everyone understands. Once mining operations begin, and I know it says January, but we couldn't do that. But once the mining begins, and when it does, then we will start earning those dividends from the gold that is taken out, the production of gold, and the yield, as JP likes to put it, the yield of gold that comes out of the land. We can't take it from shares sold or property sold for now, whatever, because that is not on the cards. It's this that we are focusing on, the gold mining for now, right? So all shares will only be sellable once all shares, when I say all shares, I mean the 1.4 million that are available, are sold. And that should be no later than July 2027. Aureus shares will then only be able to be traded from $1,000 minimum, as I said, on the Aureus marketplace, which will be available once that is the case. Closer to the time, we will know about that. All right. I just want to give you an example. This is for illustration purposes only. We do know that right now the production of gold hasn't started, so we can't give you true figures, but this is based on the output that we're expecting to get, that we would love to get to. So it's I would say, an ideal milestone, but it may not be the case. So it's just for illustration purposes, and when I give you these 2 examples and I eventually get to the calculation screen, I want to prove 2 things to you. I want to prove that dividends are, they come from the price of gold and also the output of gold. So when you look at these 2 illustrations, I want you to look at it from that mindset. What affects what we will get? And if you look at it carefully, the way I show you on the screen just now in my Excel or my Google Sheets version, you will see that there's 2 factors: the price of gold at the time and the output. All right. But in this case, I just want to give you the 2 scenarios in the presentation. Then I'll go to the explanation afterwards. All right. So in this case, the company has a 250 hectare greenfield site, and I'll show you how green it is. And that's in Kadoma, containing a minimum, and there have been tests done on the land. Unfortunately, we cannot make that test available for safety reasons. I'm also not going to delve too deep into that, but it is in the company's possession that there is tests done. It's not just that we're going there hoping that there's gold. We're going there knowing that there's gold. It's just that we have to keep these documents safe because it puts the company's location of the Kadoma region on there, and we don't want people just to know where it is because we haven't secured all the land yet. So it's just for that safety reason, right? So like we said, we were planning on getting going in January, but not. So we are still working on it, and JP and Donovan and Watson in Zimbabwe himself is trying very hard to recover a little bit of time and get us going as soon as possible. All right. That being said, they are trying to get to 3.5 tons annually by July next year, June, July next year, right? And if we can get to that output, because we know in this first setup year, we'll be lucky to get 100 kilograms per month, which works out, they were saying from January to December, 1,200 kilograms for the year, but we know we've lost 2 or 3 months already, so that may not be the case. But if we can get to the point where we're getting 3.5 tons annually at the price that they originally worked out, and I haven't changed that for a reason, because I wanted you to see what happens when the gold price changes. So I'm leaving the 130,000 on the slide for now, even though that's not the case. It is a much higher than that currently. But I wanted you to see where the gold price was when we first started Aureus, when they made these slides, 130,000 per kilogram. It worked out approximately $178 per share per year. All right. So that being said, let's go to the second scenario where the company is not just thinking about what's happening by next year. The company is wanting to go into more and expand more. So over the next 10 years, the company wants to expand to 6,000 hectares and get a yield, as JP likes to put it, of 100 tons annually. And if we can get to that, obviously the reason or how we would get to that is by building 20 new wash plants each year and scaling to this 100 tons annually within the next 10 years. All right. So that being said, let me just pull up my spreadsheet here. All right. Just let me know if everyone can see it so I can carry on. Just give me a thumbs up because I know there might be a delay. It's on my screen. I just want to know if it's on yours. All right. Thank you, Vince. All right. Let me just. All right. Okay. So I normally calculate this sheet and I normally do it just before the meeting. So the price, if you go onto goldprice.org right now, the price is actually a little bit lower. Yeah, it's a little bit lower than it is right here now. If you look at this 162,231.70, that was at 8 o'clock or 3 minutes past 8. And obviously it's almost 10 to 9 right now. But there's not much of a difference, not huge. But you can see that is the current price if in brackets, when I say current, within the last hour or so. All right. Now, when we do the calculation, we know that we're going to sell the gold to someone, and that will be Fidelity Refineries. So when the company takes gold out of the land, because we have a mining license on the land, it means we are legal and we are allowed to then sell it to a refinery. They will buy it at 95% value of this actual price. So that then gives us on that price right now, this is the price that we will get it for, 154,120 and 12 cents. Now you can see I've given you both the scenarios I just spoke about in the previous two slides. 3,500 kilograms or 3.5 tons and the 100 tons, which is 100,000 kilograms, right? So in that scenario, if you look, both calculations are worked out the same way. So let me explain to you step by step. So now we're selling our gold and we're getting that price, which is the 95% of the value of the normal price, right? We multiply it by the target for the year, which is a 3.5 or the 100, yeah? Then we get given these totals here. Aureus gets. Now, Aureus gets means that's what they get paid in full, right? But now we know that the company has to take off the expenses. Now, the expenses for the company are 45%. So in both cases, you'll see there is the amount we get paid, but then the expense amount is there. Take that off the amount we get paid, you get left with what the company then gets left over with to then share amongst shareholders. So in the case of the 3.5 tons, it's 296,681 and $221.38. In the case of when we get to 100 tons annually, that would be I'm not a mathematician or it looks like 8,000 billion. I can't say the number right now. I'm not a numbers person, but you can see there, it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. I'm not even going to try and say it right. I'll probably sound like someone else that doesn't say numbers very correctly. I also won't say that name. I don't want to be impolitically correct here. So, any case, guys, um, I think it's 8,000 billion, but I might be wrong. All right. So, any case, just to show you, if you look at, remember the slide previously that I showed you, at 130,000, it was 178 dollars per share. Yeah, you can already see on the 3.5 tons, it goes up to 211. So that's already quite a difference. And the reason being, as I said, the first thing that affects our gold dividend would be the price. Because the price has gone up by 32 odd thousand dollars, already the price increases here. Then I want you to look at the gold output, the yield or the production, because you can see a very huge difference between 3.5 tons and 100 tons. And that clearly affects our dividends as well. So when we say we're trying to expand and we're trying to go into more land, more plants, more this, that is the reason why we're saying this, because you own one share. But your one share can still make you more money if you allow the company just to do what it needs to do to expand. So that is why we say the more shares we can sell, the more money we can get in, the better we can expand, the bigger we can expand, and the more we can expand, more production happens. And if the price of gold is going up, we're also going to realize more profits. Now, I don't want to jump the gun because it is said in another slide, but until we get to a certain amount of output, we will get paid 4 times per year. So if you get 4 times per year at 3.5 tons, that is approximately 300 kilograms per month on average. You will get paid roughly 5,000 odd dollars per month. When we go to 100 kilograms per year, or 100,000, 100 tons, we'll obviously get paid once a year, and that will happen in April. And you'll see that's a bigger lump sum. And in this case, it's $605,000, 471 dollars. All right, and 88 cents. All right, so I'm just going to take that off the screen and go back to my presentation. All right, so now we're back at the presentation. I just want to see if my slides are moving along here. Yes. All right, so we've spoken now about the gold and the production of gold, but the company hasn't or isn't just stopping there. If any of you have noticed some of the videos that JP shared while in Zimbabwe recently again, he did explain that they went to another section of Kadoma that there's a company called Zimplats. Now, Zimplats or Zimplats, however you want to say it, I say Zimplats because I think, anyway. There's a company there that has been going for many years, but what they've done is they've built themselves a village that supports their mine. And in this village, there is like medical suites, there's their own cell phone tower, they've got their own power supplies, substation, they've got tarred roads, they've got shopping centers, everything, and obviously housing. So everything is there that the community would need to function. It's not just where we say, okay, we're going to mine, but then the people in and around the community don't have the supporting structure. So what's going to happen is Aureus and Son, Aureus being Donovan's business and Son being JP's business, when they got together, they came up with the idea they're going to build these eco world smart villages, providing jobs, food, clean water, clean energy, clinics, and schools. So that means when you buy a share, each share supports the healthcare, the education, and sustainable development of these areas and these communities. Because right now, like we've been seeing the videos being shared, these communities are just land at the moment. They're rural. But we want to uplift the communities. And this is why it says there is to uplift communities across Africa, not just thinking about mining gold, but we want to make sure that they are sustainable. And if we go back to Richard Branson's philosophy, where he always says he will always look after his employee first, because when his employee is looked after, the employee is happy to work. When they're happy to work, they look after the customer or the client. When the customer and the client are looked after, they will spend the money for the company or into the company, and then the company will make money. Similarly, in this case, that is what's happening. We are looking after the communities that will do the work while we are putting the money in, they are making more money with that, and then we will realize more profits because they are being looked after. And when they looked after, they can do the work 100% as a community and then look after the greater community. As I said in the beginning, there's more pieces in the community than what you believe. You are one of them. All right. So we will have our pockets also looked after as shareholders. All right. Moving on. So that is the basis of of what the company is trying to achieve. But now we're going to look at some pictures, some proof of work pictures, because it's all good and well you say it on paper, but what is actually happening on the ground? So this is where we literally show you what happened and when it happened on the ground. All right. So just to let you know, if I can go back a little bit, woo, I can't make that sound. Rewind. I'm not like a VCR tape, but if I can make that squealy noise, like rewind. We're going to go back a little bit because some of these pictures were taken many years ago and some recent, but it's just to show you proof of work. And just to let you know, if I can also go back a little bit in context, Donovan started already with this idea in 2016. And we're in 2025 or 2026 now. So it's actually going on 10 years because I don't know exactly when in 2016 it started, but let's say call it 10 years, right? JP then jumped on board and joined Donovan in around about 2019. So it's been over 6 to 7 years now that the two of them have been working on this together, right? So it's not just something that was plucked out of the air recently, like when it started going public with a lot of us, maybe October last year, August, September, October last year. It's literally been going on for many years that they planned this. So that being said, you can see a lot of communication was done on the ground and things happened. So yeah, you can see in this first picture on the left-hand side here, there's Donovan with community people. In this community, there's a community leader in the white and pink shirt, right? Second picture is Donovan standing with Wayne Williams from Yagden Engineering. He's the gentleman that will be building our mining wash plant technology. He's the one that built our first 10 ton per hour wash plant, and he will be doing the 100-ton wash plant that JP and them have ordered. I think they have already ordered it. It's probably going to take another a month for us to get it, but we just need to prepare our land for it, which I will explain just now. Just give me 2 seconds to have a sip here. All right. The third picture here, if I can just show these two pictures, this one here with a pink shirt and this one here with a black shirt are the two mining experts, gold mining experts. They are Indian by nationality. I'm not sure if they originate from India, but they are Indian by nationality. They saw pictures, which I will show you in the next slide, of the land, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing because one of the things they saw, and I'll show you just now, is they thought it was photoshopped. And they said, if that is true, that means there could be gold. And you will see, well, should I say you are seeing, if you look at this image here, what do you see there? There's a pan, obviously the same pan that this man's holding here. You can see the blue in the background. There's some of the dust, but there you can see specks of gold. And they look quite big compared to the grains of sand. They look quite big. So that means there is very much the possibility that we are going to get gold out of this land. Like I said, the test told us that there's gold in the land. Yeah, you can see just one pan. That is gold. That is gold. I mean, and that's a little bit of sand. Imagine a handful of sand. Imagine now if you put buckets full of sand through the wash plant, how much more of that we're going to get. All right. Here's another instance where JP now was on the land with Donovan and the gold experts and Watson and the team. Now, this picture over here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you really understand how important this picture is. Because this gentleman is standing here in a suit when everyone else is comfortable. They're in the bush and, you know, it's hot and it's, I know Zimbabwe is very hot. I wouldn't be able to stand there like that. I would be sweating like a tap if that was me in a suit like that. But he is doing that because he is dedicated to his work. And the reason why he is the advisor to the president of Zimbabwe. So as you can see, he was there with every conversation, every meeting. He knew about every step that we were taking, every plan, everything that the company was planning to do or is planning to do, he knows about it and he is relaying it to the president. Now, the president, if I can just tell you to cut a long story short, is happy. He's like saying, whoa, you just go ahead. And the reason for that is because, like I said, all of the stuff that the business is trying to do by uplifting the communities, giving jobs, education, and all of that back to the communities is already what they know they're probably struggling with themselves as the government. So they are on board because of, first of all, everything that we're going to be doing. They are happy with it because they know it's going to uplift the communities. Now, these meetings, like I said, did not, and that's a second no-brainer, if I could put it that way, because I know if you start any business in any country, if you're not backed or have legal backing through the government of any kind, and something happens, and then the government sends in whatever they have to, authorities or inspectors of some sort or whatever, they can close you down if you don't have things in place. So we have got things in place because we've done it the right way. All right. So like I said, sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit. Our meetings didn't just happen during the day. They also happened early morning hours or late night. As you can see, a dark picture there. As you can see, the gold expert was holding a piece of silica, which he believed had gold in it. There's a little slightly bigger picture. Moving on. So yeah, is the greenfields. As I said, we got 250 hectares of greenfield land in Condoma. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Yeah, you can see on another piece of land, which is not ours, you can see the contrast in the grass. You can see the color of the grass is even different. Now, these gold experts, here's the one standing with his umbrella. They thought it was Photoshop because they are used to it looking like this on the fourth picture here, or the fifth picture. But when they saw the grass this green, they couldn't believe it because they say that's one sign that there is very rich, or it's very rich. It could be very rich in gold. And that's why they did the testing and stuff, because it just confirmed what, by visuals, they believed there was gold in the land. It's something to do with when the grass is so green, and I'm not a geologist to tell you this, but something to do with a certain level of iron, and when there's iron in the land, that also means that there might be gold. Something to that effect. I still don't understand it 100% as much as I try and understand it. But like I said, I'm not the geologist. I never did geology at school. I just wasn't great at that. So yeah. So that being said, as you can see, the grass is literally green. It's a very big sign for us. This piece of land now apparently is a little bit more underwater. JP just told us the other day that it's got more waterlogged again because there's more rains that have come. All right. Now, just to let you know, these are artisanal miners. I keep on getting that word wrong. Artisanal. Let me try it again. Miners. Now, as you can see, they build these pits and then they build these tunnels or dig these tunnels. And this is very dangerous. It's dangerous because they are mining illegally, first of all. They're also not using safe measures when they're mining. And they also, because they're illegal, they can't sell their gold in the normal way. They have to sell it on the black market. So Donovan and JP met with a lot of them. Yes, a lot of them are working in very bad circles, as Donovan or JP explained the other day. But at the end of the day, a lot of these people have the skills that we potentially could use. So in their communities where they're working, if they eventually come on board with Aureus, they will know how to mine with very minimal training. They're already doing it under extreme conditions, but when we give them the easier way to do it and the tools, they will assist us in mining because they already have that knowledge. So as you can see, another example here, there's a guy standing there. So there you can see Donovan and the mining experts, obviously either going to or coming from a meeting. There's Watson and the team communicating about the area. Donovan saying hello, and a young child also saying hello. Happy to see us. All right. So after being on the land, the company then had to go and build local connections in the working class communities. That being said, there you can see Donovan and the one mining expert, and there's JP. They were in a group here with a company or shareholders. And then they also had meetings around dinner, lunch, and supper tables. As you can see, some footage here or some evidence here on images. Then they also went into boardrooms. They went into businesses. and sometimes in people's local homes, because we had to build local. The fact of the matter is, if we don't have the locals buying in on this, we wouldn't have been able to get into the company. As I said, one of those local connections we did make was with the government and through the advisor to the government, making sure that he's on board. But we also got a lot of the companies and a lot of the businesses and all of that in and around the area to assist with, getting us out there as a company. All right, next slide. So as I said, the company has been going to, or should I say, Donovan and JP did a lot of trips to and from Zimbabwe, just in and out all the time, working on plans, working on things getting in place. This was in December when we went and bought, or they went and bought the first wash plant at 10 ton per hour. You can see it's a lot smaller than our planned one, but there's the slip, there's the bucky, the company bucky, which is now still getting stuck in the mud. I don't think I have a picture on the slides here, but we do know that JP's been sharing us images of where that bucky is literally sitting on its side like this in the mud. So here again, when we were picking up that wash plant or taking delivery of it, or should I say going to see it, we could see Wayne was giving us some training on how it works and putting it together and all the wash plant technology involved. There's the sluice box. There's the bucky with its branding on it for Aureus. Donovan in his Aureus outfit, looking very professional as the CEO, looking very serious as well, thinking about the next step. And then there he is with the community leader again. You can see behind him is the fence where the community is already, or the camp has already been closed off. So we are already working with that community. And then these 4 images on the bottom left are where we did the groundbreaking. And I just have to admit, JP even said, yeah, where they did the groundbreaking right now, it's still underwater. The water, as you can see, there's a little stream behind them here. If you look at this dark section here, there's a little stream. Now that stream obviously has gained capacity. There's a lot more water in that stream, and obviously it's pushed the water level up to past here where they dug originally, where they wanted to put the wash plant originally. So we know we have to be 50 meters from a water source. So as JP said, if they had built the wash plant and got it over here, we would have been in trouble, because the thing is we weren't then 50 meters from the wash plant. So actually, in a way, maybe the rains have saved us, because the floods have shown us just how far we can be in trouble if we don't build ourselves far enough from water sources. So maybe in a way it's a blessing in disguise. All right, so that being said, folks, I'm not going to touch too much on this slide. We just know we're in phase 5 at the moment. We currently have 599,051 shares currently going at $30 each. We've already passed 4 phases where we've been increasing by $5 per phase. When you do buy shares, you will buy it through cryptocurrency. You will get a share certificate, as I said, and you can do it through the Polygon, Ethereum, Tron, and Binance network. All right. When you buy shares in the company, there are 5 different sectors that get money. The one is Aureus, gets 35%. That takes care of anything to do with the mining. Sun, which is JP's business, takes care of all the promotion and marketing of the material. Ubuntu Helping Hands Foundation, UHHF, is 10%. They will be taking care of all the smart villages and building of that. Then we have a second part of the business, because this is not a criteria, or should I say an obligation for all shareholders to do, but we do have people that share the business. And that being said, once you share the business, you then can get paid affiliate commission and or gold diggers competition. They both get 15% as well. All right, that is put aside for that. All right, so currently we in phase 5, and the fund allocation sort of works out like this. When I said those different percentages, I'm not going to delve too much into exactly what is getting done per phase, but each phase normally earmarks certain things to be done in the phase, or should I say each sector earmarks certain things to be done in that phase with the money that they receive. So if we were ideally to sell out all shares in phase 5, we would raise 17 million, just short of 18 million dollars. And that being said, then the company can do quite a lot for all of the sectors that is planned And just to let you know, at the bottom here, the Gold Diggers, as I said, is something that I will talk on more on Wednesdays in the affiliate section or the affiliate meeting. But that has changed, and we have now more winners. For those of you that maybe didn't see Wednesday, we have more winners. We don't just have 10 winners now, we have 40 winners because there's 4 different stages that you can win in when you are in the Gold Diggers competition. All right. So that being said, as you can see on that slide, there's various money that's allocated for those different areas of the business. All right. So that being said, when we increase our phases, we are doing it at $5 per phase, normally on the 6th of the month. Or if we can sell out the phase before the 6th, it will happen earlier. But most of the time, it has not happened up until now. So normally, by the time we get to the 6th of the month, that's South African time 0000, that is midnight between the 5th and the 6th, then that is when the price changes over at South African time. Now, up until, just hang on, just Donovan. All right, and yeah, I'm just busy with a meeting. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm on the Zoom. Is there something you wanted me to say? Okay. Okay. Yes. 20, 23rd of March. Where in Johannesburg? Where? Okay. Okay. I'll tell that. Thank you. Okay. Okay. 6:30 for 7. Okay. Okay. No problem. I'll tell. Okay. 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 No problem. No problem. Thank you. Thank you, Donovan. Okay. 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 Bye 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 bye. Sorry, folks. That was Donovan, our CEO. I don't know how often that would work when the person presenting has to answer the phone from the CEO, but I suppose I'm lucky enough to be blessed with being put on the spot in 2 places at once. So sorry about that. I'll tell you the notification at the end. Please stay until the end, and then I will give the notification just before the questions and answers. Let's just get through the presentation. So as I was saying, from phase 5 right up until phase 9, we will be increasing by $5 per share, or should I say per phase. Then, when we change from phase 9 to phase 10, there will be a $50 increase. And then from phase 10 to phase 11, there's a $100 increase. And then that will carry on right up until phase 19, when we should have sold out all 1.4 million shares. And then the price will be $1,000 at the end of that phase 19. All right. So just to let you know, I'm going to start on the dividends explanation. So let me first start on the right hand side here, where it says how are dividends created, or how dividends are created, right? So as I said from the start, or in the beginning of the meeting, dividends are created from gold and or any other minerals that are mined and processed and then sold for revenue. Once that has happened, the expenses, which is 45%, will then be paid, and then whatever profit is or remains is divided amongst all 1.4 million shares. And then, obviously, that being said, nothing comes from selling new shares. So there is no money. If I buy a share today, the money that I pay into the company is not going to pay all shareholders. It's there to be allotted for the betterment of the company, to make sure that the mining happens. All right. So that being said, what dividends mean is this. Dividends are payments from the company profits, the mining, the yield, as JP says, that comes out. That is then sold we earn profits from it, and then shareholders share in that. So once profits are available, like we said, right now there are no profits currently because the mine has not started, or the mining has not started yet. But when the mining has started and there are profits available, because we have taken something out, we have sold it, we have profits and the expenses have been paid, then we will see the dividends start being paid. Dividends are linked to production milestones, as we said, depending on how much we make, that will determine as well how much we make. Until production, and this is the case, as I said earlier on, when we get up to 50 tons or anything from 0 to 50 tons, we will get paid 4 times a year or quarterly. That's January, April, July, and October. Then once we get from 50 tons to 99,000 or 99 tons, sorry, then we will get paid 2 times a year. That's April and October. And then once we get, like we said in our 10-year plan of 100 tons or more per year, you'll get paid once, and that would be in April. Now, just to clarify, because this does get asked a lot, when will you get your first dividend once you pay shares? Your first dividend you will get paid is only after 5 months. Your purchased shares must work for 5 months before they start earning dividends. So currently, if you buy today, your first dividend more than likely will only be in October. All right, just to let you know. So that being said, you can see the two examples at the bottom. If you buy in January, you would get in July. If you buy in April, you would get paid in October the first time. All right. So how dividends grow? As I said, and I gave you the example just now of production, and I also gave you the example of the price. But one of the things we do know that is going to help us is obviously when the company grows, profits can increase. The bigger the profits, it means the bigger the dividend pool. And over time, dividend share can become higher. As you saw in my example just now, the one was 220 odd, and the other one was, I forget the figure now. It's a huge number. It's a huge number. And that's just on one share alone, as it was saying. All right. So that being said, let's just move on. The benefits of being a shareholder. Okay, you get lifetime benefits. And the reason why I'm saying this is because as long as there's a share certificate in your name, no one can take that away from you. The company is registered, and as long as the company is making profits, you will earn from that share or however many shares you have in the company. And just to, excuse me, got a bug in my throat. Just to let you know, there is a company in Zimbabwe that is over 100 years old, and they've been mining, and they still to this day are taking roughly 300 to 400 kilograms out per month of gold. So they're not doing too bad, right? So that if that's the case, why can we not do it, especially if we are trying to expand to 6,000 hectares and do that 100 tons per annum, right? Another thing is you gain, number two is you gain real equity ownership. It's not just someone telling you to join a business and then there's nothing that you can show for it. In this case, you do get ownership. You get a share certificate, which means you are part of the legal ownership of the company. All right. Then long-term asset growth. As I said, as the company grows, we grow, and all assets and everything like that just mean that the company is growing, and you also have that, assurity that when the company is growing, we growing as well with it. All right. Number four, control of your shares. Once we get to the 1.4 million shares all being sold out, and then only can we then decide to transfer or sell them if we want to, or you can just choose to hold on to them and continue to earn the profits from that. So you have total control, but that is, like I said, only once 1.4 million shares have all been sold out. And then obviously shareholder benefits, not too much to say. Yeah, it's clear that if you are a shareholder, you're going to be in the loop of everything that's happening over and above someone that is not a shareholder, because people that are not a shareholder wouldn't know what's happening in the company. So you get benefits of everything from opportunities, updates, and advantages that are not open to the normal public. All right, just to clarify, you earn dividends because you own shares. Dividends come from the shares you hold, and then allowing that to work the way it should to enable the company to earn the profits from mining. However, you do not need to refer anyone. You do not need to join the affiliate program. You do not need to participate in sales and force or encourage someone to buy shares, right? Or sell shares. Your dividends come from your shares and not from the referrals that you're bringing in. However, there are people that do enjoy sharing something that's good. So we are not saying that you can't do it. We're just saying that dividends come from the mining and the yield taken out of the land, not from the sale of shares. So those two are a distinction in the business. All right. So that being said, we're at the end of the presentation. And again, I'm going to go back to the main screen or the home screen. I I cannot be a shareholder in a business if I don't believe that it is going to change my life or those that I may share it with, or even because I'm presenting it. I can't stand here and tell you to, enjoy shares or become a shareholder if I don't believe in Aureus. So I created the screen because I strongly believe. And I didn't give you all my no-brainer situations as I normally say them in the presentation. But I strongly believe that this is going to be a game changer. If I can tell you just briefly my history, I grew up in Kimberley, in Oppenheimer country, diamond country, and I saw a lot of people making money with the Oppenheimers as employees, but I don't think any of them had the choice to buy shares in the company. But if I knew then what I know now, and I had the opportunity like now to buy into that opportunity, I would have bought shares in Oppenheimer or Anglo Gold because I was born in Joburg as well, gold country. But I didn't have that opportunity. Right now, you have the opportunity to buy into a company that is going to be backed by gold because we are going to be mining it and we are going to be putting out gold for people. And this is going to change lives. So I believe in Aureus for that very reason. And that is my other no-brainer. And that's why I created this hashtag. I hope you can all adopt it whenever you share. Have the belief in something before you even try and pursue something. If I'm going to join or buy a product, I obviously believe that product. Like now, because I've got a throat infection, I believe this product is going to help me. This little spray, when I spray it down my throat, I believe it's going to work. That's why I buy it. So it's the same with Aureus. If you're going to buy shares, you need to believe in it. So that being said, does everyone understand the presentation? And are we all open ears? Because I want to give you the announcement that Donovan just gave me. Are we all ready for it? Are we all ready for the announcement? All right. I do know, unfortunately, this is just going to affect the people in Johannesburg area and surrounds, as he says. Okay, so here's the presentation or the announcement. All right, here is the announcement. Okay. On the 23rd, being a Monday, and you didn't say whether that was, yes, it's March. Okay, 23rd of March, which basically means about 10 days from now. 23rd of March or Tuesday. They just haven't finalized it 100%, but just earmark it. It could happen either on the 23rd or the Tuesday. He said the time and the date will be finalized closer to the time, but let's just diarize it for now. Try and make that time available. Anyone that is in the Johannesburg area or surrounds. It's going to be in Midrand. Also, the venue has not been finalized yet. It will be approximately from 8:30, 16, let me try that again. 18:30, which is 6:30 for 7 o'clock. So that is the time. And it's going to be an event with all the team available. Apparently, it's going to be the full team that's going to be available. And it's going to have light snacks. And they're going to be obviously there in attendance. All right. So that will be anyone that's in the Johannesburg area and surrounds. Either Monday or Tuesday, Monday the 23rd or Tuesday the 24th. We will announce it closer to the time. All right. So just to let you know, JP and Donovan obviously have something planned there, and the whole team is going to be available, and they will be there for anyone that is available to go and see. All right. That is for those people. All right. That being said, Um, we are open for questions and answers. Anyone that has a question and needs it answered, please stick up your hand and we will unmute you and then you can ask your question. All right, just want to go to the chat. I see. Um, all right, let me just open the chat a little bit here. I believe in Aureus. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Suriname, Regalia, thank you. You're always here. Yes, yes, I believe. Pictures are not showing. Pelia Denane. I'm not sure which pictures you're referring to. Um, Maybe because when you're on the screen, you have a view and you're not on the right view to note to see the presentation. You might be on my view and not the presentation view. Is probably why you never saw the images. I'm not sure, depending on where you're watching it. All right. So, any questions? If there's any questions or no questions, then I suppose we're going to end the meeting for now. But I hope there are some questions so that we can at least have some interaction of some kind. All right. Any questions? Anyone with concerns or anything that's bugging them, perhaps, or lack of clarity on something? All right. In that case, it looks like there's no one that's wanting to ask any questions. Just give me 2 seconds. Uh, all right. Just want to say a shout out to obviously Abel, Kathy, Drummond, Ian from Canada, Jason, John or Jean. I'm not sure. I still don't know if it's a male or a female, so my apologies. Jerome, we've got John Addo from, I think he said he was from Ghana. Was it Ghana? um, John, Kafilwe, we got Lloyd, we've got Mayank. Thank you, Mayank. For all of you that heard the awesome Gold Diggers song that I've been using, Mayank created that song for us. So thank you very much, Mayank. We love that song. Mamele, Memele, Mfuneko, Pelo, we got Pana, or Pana, Pinky. We've got Suriname Queen, Regalia, we've got Sabi, we've got Sylvia, we've got Tariq, we've got Temzi, we've got Vince, we've got Mr. Willie de Beer, our very always present Willie de Beer, and then Winnie Matato. And I think there was more that obviously just left the meeting in the meanwhile. But folks, thank you very much for being here on Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Pana. The presentation was clear. Yes. What I actually forgot to do on Monday already when JP jumped on, I did say I was going to share the new presentation with everyone, the PDF. And Robert, I know, also asked that we can update it or send it. I will just share it and then you guys can have a look at the affiliate and the presentation, the shareholders presentation, both of them, so that you can go through it in your own time through the presentation and get to understand the different various slides that we are talking about. So if you do not see it on the screen, you can always know what I'm talking about because you have the actual PDF in front of you. All right. So thank you very much, folks. I will upload and share the video link, the Zoom link and or the YouTube link once this has rendered and once it's available. You guys can go back and watch it when you can. If you weren't able to see the whole presentation tonight, you can still go and share it with your team if need be and have a look at it for yourself and go through the stuff. All right. So that being said, please enjoy your weekend and then we will see you again on Monday, 8:30 South African time. Thanks, folks. Enjoy your weekend.
Good,